meeting to order. Until we elect a new chairman, I will run the meeting. It won't take long for me. So let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Call for public comment. We don't have any. Are there any agenda additions or deletions? Keep in mind, we have a regular session immediately following this. Hearing none, I'd entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. You know what? I didn't ask you to do roll call. Sorry. Can you do roll call?
Sure. Mr. Behrens?
Present.
Mr. Christensen? Absent. Mr. Ferrick?
Here.
Mr. Godbout?
Here.
Ms. Lopner?
Present.
Mr. Noonan?
Here.
Mr. Popa?
Here.
Mr. Robbins?
He is en route from Traverse City on these icy roads, so he will get here.
Steve's here.
Oh,
Mr.
okay.
Christensen.
Right by me.
Mr. Smith?
Here.
And Mr. Walter?
Here.
We have a quorum.
Okay. So back to approving the agenda as written. Melinda placed the motion and Mr. Smith seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those not in favor? Okay. So the Planning Commission will be selecting its representative to the Parks and Recreation Commission at its organizational session next week. And I have confirmed that with Mr. Noonan, that he is still the sole member of the Planning Commission in the Recreation category. And the Planning Commission bylaws state the Planning Commission rep to the Parks Board will be either the Planning Commission chairman or his or her designee. I have also spoken with Mr. Noonan, and he would be willing to serve as Parks Chairman if so appointed. So, I am calling for nominations for the position of Chairman of the Leelanau County Parks and Recreation Commission.
I nominate Casey Noonan as chairman.
Did you have your hand in the air? Because I wanted to nominate Casey Newman.
I didn't look.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any other nominations? Nominations are closed. All those in favor of retaining Casey as chairman of the Parks and Recreation?
Aye.
Okay.
Okay, well, thank you, I guess.
Yeah.
Moving on here, I'll take over and we'll go to election of a vice chairman. Are there any nominations for vice chair?
Nominate Dave Behrens.
Is there some? All right. No. Motion by Christensen, second by Godbout. All those in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Got a vice chair. Now I'll entertain a nomination for secretary.
Is this a, may I ask?
No, we have a formal secretary. The last person to serve in that seat is Mr. Christensen.
Okay.
So this is a, what is the term I'm looking for? This is a,
Do you want to be the secretary again?
yeah, formal?
I nominate Steve.
Support.
Steve, give an example of what you would do as a secretary.
Keep track of month to month. Try to keep us on track. Bring back the issues that are needed. Work with Laurel to do the same.
We're not letting you retire yet, Steve.
Right.
So we're gonna stick with what we said.
What's important is he relates to all three parks, which is essential
Yes.
for that position.
Yes.
I now double down on my support for Steve as secretary.
Yeah, forget it.
Is there
So-
some,
Did someone nominate someone for secretary?
I did. I
Okay.
nominated Steve. Steve
Second.
Christensen.
second by Behrens? All those in favor of the motion? Aye. All those opposed? Steve, you are secretary. Again. Okay, approval of the 2022 meeting schedule, which there's two different schedules on here, right?
Right, there's a sample A, which is,
The fourth Wednesday of the month,
right,
and sample B is the first Wednesday of the month.
yes.
And the reason behind switching is to try and align ourselves with the county board meetings a little bit better. We've been struggling, basically we lose a month if we want to try and get anything done. So if we switch this up, we can get things on the agenda immediately following our meeting if we have to, instead of having to wait a month, basically.
Okay, so the early in the month would be the correlation that we're looking for, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
And the fourth would essentially do the same thing, correct? I mean,
It's prepping you for right before the following month's cycle for the county board.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, so sample B would be the best. Is that,
So, fourth would
Am I-
give you more time before a meeting. It gives you an extra week, where B would leave you 1 week, correct?
Right.
okay,
Sample A would give
Time,
you
but
2
not
weeks.
later.
right.
Well, it depends, some people have conflicts in that they might have a commitment for the fourth Wednesday or a commitment for the first, so that's why I tried to give you two different options.
In the end, we still have to be always
on the ball.
ahead, on the ball,
Right,
regardless of which one we do.
Well, the fourth would give you 2 more weeks, or
Well,
2 weeks, and the other one only gives you 1 week.
it's going to be 4 weeks either way. It's just gonna,
one's a delay.
yeah, it's going to be. Do you want to meet a week before the board meets or 2 weeks before the board meets and have more time in between our,
Well, it'd be
more
month,
time right before their board meeting or more time?
they're just the
Doesn't
ability
really
to have a
matter.
meeting and have a motion and something to present to the county board is the key element. Either one does
So
that.
allowing for a couple of weeks rather than a few days.
Well,
For
you've got,
preparation.
between meetings, you have a month.
Right,
And so long as we have a meeting before the county board of commissioners meet, it gives us a chance, if we have prepared and put our ducks in a row, to make a motion to present something to the county board, we're there either way. Unfortunately, I'll be in conflict with the fourth Wednesday for the first quarter anyway. Lake Leelanau Lake Association is meeting that day.
Well, let's
So
try
I'll
it
be in
that first-
conflict.
Same time,
Let's
Steve?
try it for a while for that first week of the month. Because my first week is shot anyway with other stuff. But, that gives us at least,
so sample B is what you're looking at?
Correct.
Yeah, I
we
like
can always
that.
change it.
Right,
We can amend the meeting schedule at any time.
Right.
Give them
You
proper
can try it and
notice.
see how it works out, does it hurt anybody's schedule or whatever. Go from there.
Is that a motion?
make a motion to switch to sample B.
Yes. Laurel, Rick isn't here, and I don't know his committee assignments. They don't meet that day, do they?
I don't know what committee assignments people have.
All right, well, we can ask him maybe when he gets here and make sure
Okay.
that he doesn't have a conflict with.
That works. Okay.
Was there a second on that?
Melinda, did you support that?
I will support that.
Okay. All those in favor of the motion? Say aye. Aye. All those opposed? Okay. We will now tentatively meet the first Wednesday of the month.
The next meeting will be February 2nd, if I get this right.
Correct.
Groundhog Day.
Is it? Yeah.
I know, it's not a beaver.
So that doesn't count.
Okay, then now we move on to the standing committee appointments, which is,
Hold on, Scott, you're good with that, Scott?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought-
I was teasing him because a groundhog is related to a beaver. We've had a beaver issue with
I
Veronica.
got it.
We're going to celebrate that day. Scott.
I mean, my feeling is Scott doesn't get a vote, but Scott's input is important.
But the groundhog doesn't give a damn.
It's true.
Oh, it's,
all right, moving on to the standing committee appointments. And these are the Veronica Valley, Old Settlers, and Miles Kimmerly.
If you look at the page that's got some color on it, the only thing that,
think that through.
you can keep them if you want. Now that Todd's retired, we have Charlie to place.
So my thought was just to keep everybody the same and then put Charlie on Old Settlers and Todd. Is that all right with you?
Okay.
Okay. So if I could get a motion from somebody to leave the committee appointments as they are?
Motion to leave it as it is.
I'll second that.
With the addition of Mr. Guy.
Right, yes, I'm sorry.
all right.
With the exception.
All those in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Motion carries. Okay, and a review of our bylaws?
And this is more or less not to go over right now, but to keep it in the forefront of your thought pattern. Just look it over. If anything looks like we should address it in a future meeting, just send me some feedback and we'll add it to the agenda.
Okay.
Does anybody have any questions about the bylaws or anything? Okay, moving on. Any public comment? I don't see anybody out there. Any commissioner comments?
I do.
Go ahead.
I was asleep when we introduced the new gentleman.
Oh,
Charlie? Yes. Hi, Charlie. Hello. I'm Don.
I'm Charlie.
I'm Steve.
Steve.
Casey.
Casey, I know.
Hope
John. John William. John.
Dave Benz.
There won't be a test, right?
You'll get to know him.
Linda.
Michael?
Yeah. Michael.
Tell us about yourself.
Lived in Empire since 2003. We moved up from the south suburbs of Chicago. My former life was working as an accountant in computer science first, accounting second. My final job was as a manager of the fixed asset accounting department for a major utility. I've got a wife and two kids. Two kids live in the south suburbs. We live up on the top of Benzonia Trail in 3.5 acres of woods. Hopefully there's no more windstorms this year because I had to replace my deck and my fence because I had a big 37-inch basswood tree come down on top of it. That's me.
Thank you. Glad to have you here. Any other comments? All right, motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All those in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned.
Okay, the two people that need to take their oath, can you go to the clerk's office and do that? I'm gonna get set up for the next meeting.
How are you, Steve?